Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today from our friends at 49 and Market, we've got Timber and Tweed collection. We've got a 6x8 collection pack, laser cut element set. There's 137 pieces here, and the rub-on transfer set where you get 3 6x12 sheets. This one was so fun to play with, you guys. If you like woodsy things, if you like cabin, so fun. And this is our giveaway card for this episode, so if you stick around, you'll learn how one lucky viewer can win this card to keep or share with a friend. So come play with us. All right, let's take a look at the 6x8 collection pack. You're getting 9 double-sided papers, 3 of each designs, plus a bonus sheet on the reverse cover. All right, so I love how they use the cover, and you get this bonus sheet with pine and little frosty snow on that one. And look at the beautiful mountain and the tree. I love how the tall timber just goes all the way up the side. Fantastic plaid. Another great pine tree. On the back we've got logs. And then this one is so cool where you've got a little bit of plaid sticking up here. Got the trees on each side, and then just sort of like a layer of like paint over the top of it. Cool, like topographical map. Okay, this one again where you've got the layers of paper. You've got the scene here, the wood in the background, and then it looks like a layer of paint over the top of it. In the back you've got these stone. And then you've got this cozy cabin scene. A little bit of plaid here, and this really nice rich sort of a rusticy red color. Another beautiful cabin scene on the porch, beautiful, and the beautiful plaid. And then these are great for journaling or just a cut apart here. And then you've got this brown with like actually like the timber or tree stamped in the background. Another one where you can cut this into 2, and we've got these pine planks. This one is really pretty. It's got the circles of the cut wood, and then these little clusters of pine cones and some little berries and twigs and pine branches and leaves. Very cool. And on this side we've got some parchmenty looking paper. Okay, and then we're starting again, and then you're getting that 3 more times. Okay, really cool collection. Great for masculine, great for like vacation. All right, and then we've got the laser cut set. There's 137 pieces here. I think 49 and Market does just a brilliant job of doing their laser cuts. They're just so, the quality is so well done. So we've got our little cabin window here. We've got ice skating. We've got pine cones. Beautiful like fireplace. I love the height of this one. All right, so the old pickup truck, I used this on a card. Here it is up here as well. Maybe we can zoom out. And then we've got like, thank you, snowmobile, and then all these cool like woodland animals. And even like some from the plains, which is really cool. Eagle, moose. Go. My father's from South Dakota, and this feels very South Dakota to me. And then we've got the cabin furniture. We've got the wood stove, the chandelier from antlers, the pine cones, the acorns, the little woods, or big wood swing. I love this, just like the coat rack with the antlers on it. Really beautiful, and these just punch out so nicely, and there's no like white edge on it. Everything is very sturdy cardstock and just beautifully laser cut. All right, let's take a look at the rub-ons. So you're getting 3 sheets. They're each 6x12. You've got all of your sayings and things like that. Great for scrapbooking. Okay, and then here we've got just, I love the like little pieces of plaid right here. We've got the stone and the wood. And then on this, oh, that's just the back. Where's the other one? One, two, oh, it's stuck to my front cover. Here we go. The bonfire, and then just like beautiful branches. Another little kind of rusticy piece of plaid here. Just really beautiful. Well done. Okay, so let's get to this card. Is our giveaway card. So I'm going to tell you how I made the card, and then at the very end of the video, if you stick around, I'm going to tell you how we do our card giveaway. So this one is a 5 by 6.5 inch. And then first of all, I used my favorite brown ink to ink the entire edge of the card, a little cocoa bean, little blender tool. And then I used the plaid paper, okay, and I cut it down just a little bit smaller, glued that to the card center. And then for glue, for adhesive, you guys, we love our Cosmic Shimmer Specialist Acrylic Glue. Dries clear. It's also got a little bit, once it dries, it's a little flexible, so it's not going to dry brittle and crack. And we also have Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive, also dries clear, great option. So both of these I'll put down below the video. And then of course, Debbie and I love using our little applicator tool bottles for that, and I'll put that down below the video. All right, so then I cut down that beautiful timber paper because I really wanted to feature that tree going up the side. So we've got it right here, and I just used this much of it, and I just cut right across here and here, inked the edges of that, and glued that to the card center. And then this piece right here, you guys, was one of those ones where you would cut it in half. Great for journaling. Here we go. Yes. I used this one right here. Okay, so I just cut this one in half and then inked the edges of this and then foam taped it so it's even with the card edge. And for foam tape, we have our giant wheel of foam tape. It's 150 feet or 50 yards of 1/2 inch wide continuous foam tape. Debbie and I use this every day. Just put a couple of strips there, then added the Thinking of You Dazzle stickers that come from our primary inside outside Dazzle stickers, and we call them that because there's a greeting that you can put on the inside, and if you want, well, on the outside, and one you can put on the inside if you'd like. And yes, we know primary is red, yellow, blue, but we also added black, brown, and green because you need it. So use the green Thinking of You here. And then I just glued and then put a little foam tape behind this part of this gorgeous eagle and did the same here for the moose. Kind of glued it here and then foam taped here just to prop it up. And then when we open it up, I just used kind of scraps that I had. So I used the other side of this piece right here, inked the edges. I had a scrap of this stone paper, so I put that in the center. Glued that here with the fold, and then here is one of the rub-ons. Added that plaid, and then just a little collection of these wood rounds and the squirrel there for my inside. And I'm going to remember to tell you guys, I'm talking to myself now, about our card giveaway. All right, so this one, you guys, is a 5 by 6.5 by 5 inch card. Covered it with the beautiful plaid paper, and then used one of these. Let me see if I can find this one with the bench on it. Here we go. I used this one. So I just used it in this shape, trimmed the top and the bottom off, inked the edges, glued that right to the card center. And then this piece right here, you guys, is one of our rub-ons. Let me grab that one. And I'm going to show you in a few minutes how we did the rub-on, but it's right here. Turned it on its side and added that rub-on, and then some of the little greetings here, and then a cluster of the laser cut pieces of these little acorns, and then added just a little bow of brown ribbon from our 1/8 inch grosgrain ribbon collection, which is just my go-to because it has such great colors in it. And then foam taped the owl, kind of like perched on the little bench right there. Here's the mama and baby bear, and then there's another rub-on right here. So I did these two rub-ons at the same time, and then these two, and then added my laser cut pieces. That was a fun one. All right, so this one, you guys, I used a tent fold card on this one. It's a slimline tent fold, okay? First of all, I manipulated the card. So this one is like 8 1/4 by 4 inches. And I opened the card up, and if you can look on the back here, this is the original card fold. So I opened the card up, and then I scored it using our little mini scoreboard right here. Scored it halfway on either side. And then, of course, inked all the edges. And then I just started by making some panels. So I used that topographical, like, map paper. I can find it in here. Here we go. All right, so I just added that here and here. Then I took a piece of that pine paper, and I literally just I tore a 1-inch strip with the torn edge going on the inside, inked the edges of that with the brown, and then glued that on each side. All right, and then the Mountain is Calling is I'm trying to remember, is that a, oh yeah, that's just a strip of paper that I just added one of the rub-ons to that, foam taped that here, glued the little wood rounds, and then here's that cool laser cut truck. And I just glued it to the right side, that right flap. So when you open it up, you're getting like the inside of your cabin. Here's some more of that pine. The pine over here. This is the parchment paper that's in the collection, or the parchment looking paper. And then I did the little rub-ons that had the like partial pieces of the plaid. This one right there. And then this one I turned. So it had the straight edge at the top. And then just added some skis here. Here's another rub-on piece. Added the little bookshelf by foam taping that, or the kitchen shelf. And then this piece I tore out of this paper, inked the edges of that, and then added the Happy Birthday Dazzle sticker, and then foam taped that, glued the little wood round, foam taped, foam taped, foam taped, glued the pine cone. All right, then we moved over here, got your pine background, and then I just glued the little rocking chair with the little stump side table, came with that, and glued that there. So it's just kind of giving you a like outside, outdoors, and then inside of the cabin, which I thought was fun. Oh, and I should mention on this one right here, the original height of this, here we go, the little smokestack was too tall, so I literally just cut it in half, cut it right here, and then I just dropped this down a little bit so it fit inside my card. There's a little seam right there. So you can absolutely manipulate those. Okay, so you guys, what do I have next for you? I have a scrapbook page. I did a scrapbook page not too long ago and asked you guys if you wanted more of those ideas, and you kind of screamed yes, so that's what we're gonna do. All right, so for my background paper, in utilizing this, because we're working with 6x8 paper, I'm using Forest Magic cardstock, and there's a sort of gray color right there. I'm gonna use that. I went ahead and started off by adding that cabin scene, which I thought was so cool. And then here is a little rub-on piece I was gonna tell you about. So when you're using these rub-ons, you guys, it's a good idea to go ahead and use your small scissors and cut out around the image. Even if you have to cut away the other small pieces, don't try to peel it back like this and then lay it down. No, it'll be a disaster, because any pressure at all, even if you're just barely touching it, will transfer the other images to your paper. So always cut them out. A big step. Where'd my paper pad go? There we go. All right, the other thing you can do, and Sarah Newman gave me this idea, which I think is so great. Before you peel the back off, take this and just bend it like that just a little bit, because it's gonna give you a handle when you're trying to pull it off. I thought that was genius. So we're gonna take this and then we're going to peel the back off. And we're gonna put this right in the top corner, just like that. And then I've got my little bone folder. And you're just trying to touch every part of the rub-on so that it connects to the paper. And then go around the edges, and I want to get this really good. All right, now what's great about this is now we've got our little handle. Remember Sarah's little tip. So when you're pulling this off, oops, I missed some right there. So I'm just gonna go back over those little spots. All right, and then we're just pulling. Oh, missed one more little spot. Lay it back down. And that's why I'm not going whoosh, ripping it off. I'm just doing it very slowly. Oh, I didn't get my edges very good on these. There we go. Okay. And then just go over that and burnish like that. All right, now we're gonna add, okay, so I've got my large like 5x7 photo here, and I'm gonna be using this like Tombow glue tape, which I'll put down below. We also have the refill on this, so I'll put both of those down below the video. If you're watching us on our Paper Wishes webisode page, just look below the video in the description box if you're watching us over on YouTube. And the link will take you right here. Come on. Should have taken this out beforehand. There we go. All right, now I always get confused as to like which side that I'm adding the tape to, like which is the dispenser side. So, no, it's not that one. There we go. I need to remember, you clip this back and then that is the side. And you don't need a ton of tape on this. All right, so I'm gonna overlap this just a little bit up here. Just wanna make sure I'm getting this straight with the top edge. All right, and now I've got one of these pieces that I thought would make a great place to journal. And I'm just gonna overlap that right there. There we go. And now we get to add some of these cool little pieces. I thought adding that little sofa right there for inside the cabin would be really cool. And the key is just kind of overlapping things, I think. We've got a little lantern, and I put a little piece of foam tape behind it, which I thought would be good to just overlap right there. And then I've got things like this little basket of pine cones. That right there. And then I've got another little piece of foam tape on the back of this pail of acorns, which, adorable. Why wouldn't you put your acorns pail there? There we go. And then we've got this great big like hunting trophy. And then I'm just getting some of that right on there in those antlers, and then you can just kind of push it aside a little bit. And I'm going to overlap that here. And then I've got these arrow pieces I thought would be really cool. Well, we don't want to point them at the poor deer trophy. That's just adding insult to injury. So we're going to add that here. And they can just kind of go that on your page. And we'll put one down here as well. There we go. So now there's plenty of room to journal about your little adventure in the cabin. And we got to use our cool little rustic sofa. It's a good one to add here. And it just sort of creates your little scene really quickly and easily. And that's just my suggestion of how, oh, I forgot to mention, I matted this with that stone paper. So it gives you just some idea of how to use a 6x8 paper to create your layout. It's just really an easy thing to do. All right, you guys, I want to tell you about the money saver that we have on the right-hand side of the screen on this collection. It's fantastic. All the other items are listed down below the video, the full color photos. The supplies that we used are down there as well. And as I said, if you're watching us over on YouTube, just look below the video in the description box and you'll see a link that'll take you to this Paper Wishes webisode page So you can take a look at that money saver. Now, how we like to do our card giveaway. We are trying to promote our Paper Wishes YouTube channel, which is called My Paper Wishes. So if you're watching us over on paperwishes.com, it'd be great if you head on over to YouTube. You could just search My Paper Wishes, and then we ask that you subscribe to our channel, like this video with a thumbs up, and then leave us a comment. So like, comment, subscribe. And then after about a week, we'll reply to one viewer's comment. We reply to all the comments, but one comment will say, congratulations, you have won our card. We also use their YouTube username. So we'll say, congratulations, YouTube username blank. So if you're not sure what your YouTube username is, just go back and look at your comment so that and it's labeled with your username so that you'll know how to identify if you won. It's also a good idea to hit the notification bell at the top right-hand corner of the YouTube channel. That way you'll know when we're dropping a new video, which we do like 6 times a week. We have videos. And we also do card giveaways on every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday videos. So we encourage you to participate in those. Thanks so much for joining me today, you guys. This was a really fun one to do, all woodsy and cool and great for vacations. And I hope you check out the Money Saver, and we'll see you in the next one.